Some good news for the NC State Wolfpack as they have secured the transfer commitments of a productive edge rusher and a familiar face at running back. So who are these two gentlemen and what will they bring to the team in 2026? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to ACC Uprising. Appreciate you all rocking out here. In this video, we got a good one covering the transfer commitments to NC State from Tulane edge Harvey Dyson and UNC running back Davion Gause. Here at ACC Uprising, we cover every single team across the conference, and today's video is all about the Wolfpack. So, to my NC State fans, let me get a temperature check real quick. How are we feeling in general? How are we feeling about the portal, the recruiting class, the next season? What are our eyes set on as we move into the next stages of the offseason? As a reminder, guys, if you are enjoying the content, the number one way that you can support us is by hitting that like button. Doesn't matter if you're an NC State fan or not. We cover Georgia Tech, Clemson, Duke, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, UVA, every single team in the ACC. This is a home for you. Subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get rolling with this video. So again, NC State has confirmed the transfer commitments of 6'3", 250-pound Harvey Dyson from Cedar Hill, Texas. Now, he did 3 years at Texas Tech, didn't get on the field a ton. Last year, that changed. He goes down to Tulane, a Tulane team that, keep in mind, was in the college football playoff, had 36 tackles, 8 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and a pass deflection. Now, these numbers, they're not amazing, but they're certainly solid. And that plays a big part, or that could make a big difference for NC State. Because despite going 8-5 last year, despite finishing with a winning record, having a solid year, the Wolfpack were 120th. I'm going to say that's triple digits. I almost held up 4 fingers. That's triple digits, 120th in sack percentage. They were also 107th in sacks per game. That was the second lowest. I'll say it again. The second lowest in the entire ACC. Only Virginia Tech was beneath them. So for a good team, it's impressive that a team had an 8-5 record while having such deficiencies at getting after the quarterback. I mean, the team leader last year in sacks was Trey Thomas, and he only had 4. So clearly, pass rushing juice is a must for NC State. The way that football goes right now is you want to get off the field, you want to support your defense, you want to support your offense, you want to control the time of possession, you want to do any of these things, you pin the team back on 3rd and a pass. Okay, so you have to win 1st and 2nd down. Stop the run. That gives you the right to rush the passer. That's a key phrase, the right to rush the passer. But if you get this your opponent in 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, etc., you get them pinned back, so they're probably not running the football, the right to rush the passer. That's when you get an edge rusher on the field. And we saw flashes of it from Harvey Dyson last year, 8 sacks again. If he comes to NC State and he can replicate that, he can give you that same production, that changes games. That puts the ball back in the hands of your offense, back in the hands of your quarterback, which is one of the strengths of this team. So not only is he helping the defense, he's helping a strength by giving the strength, again, CJ Bailey, the quarterback, more time with the football in his hands. Now, this is far from the solution. There still needs to be a concerted effort to get after the quarterback with your schematics. You don't have any 4-star edge rushers coming in the class of 2026, so no one immediate from that group. But you have some talent on the roster. The transfer portal is still open. You have coaches who go back and review game film. They know what adjustments they need to make. It's just a matter of doing it. But adding Dyson certainly helps you do that. Gives you more weapons in your arsenal. So we'll see what he does at NC State next season. Over to Gause. Now, this is a name that might not be familiar to NC State fans, but it's certainly familiar to CJ Bailey. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. So Gause is a 5'11", 215-pound running back from Opa Locka, Florida. I had no clue there was a town called Opa Locka, and that's fun to say. Opa Locka, Opa Locka, Opa Locka. That might be my favorite town in America. I haven't even been there. So the name, Davion Gause. He was teammates with CJ Bailey in high school. Now, his college stats aren't amazing. Only 585 yards and 7 touchdowns in 2 seasons at UNC. Averaged 4.6 yards per carry. He was pinned beneath some other underclassmen running backs on the depth chart. But as a senior in high school, he ran for 1,047 yards and 14 touchdowns, won his second straight state title. It was actually his junior season, which was the best of his high school career. He had 1,251 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns on 7.6 yards per carry. And obviously, if he won his second straight state title as a senior, we'll take a guess what he did as a junior. Yeah, him and CJ Bailey, they go out and they win state titles. So without Hollywood Smothers in the backfield, there's an obvious need for some support there. You need playmakers, you need depth, you need competition, you need all of it. Gause doesn't come in with great production, but there's great familiarity. And I will point out what's going on with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne in the NFL right now. They were teammates at Clemson. They both get drafted in the first round by the Jaguars. Lo and behold, here we are. And it took some time, obviously. The Jaguars had to find the right coaches. The NFL, it's also, the talent level is so high that any mistakes are going to be punished. They're going to be capitalized on. So the Jaguars had a bad roster. They had the wrong coaches there. But now that they've got everybody in place, you see what they're doing, the season they're having. And Etienne has been productive. Lawrence has been productive at other points in his career. The point I'm making here is familiarity, chemistry, continuity. That can overcome talent. And I'm not saying NC State doesn't have talent. I mean, you saw some of the plays CJ Bailey made. The talent is there, but it's still a matter of synergy. If everybody's on the same page, you can become more than the sum of your parts. Even if the sum is massive, you can still go beyond that by having that chemistry. So for Gause to come in as a guy who hasn't gotten a ton of work in college, it's going to be like riding a bike, teaming up with his high school buddy. Hey, remember when we were slinging it all over the field? Remember when we were going out, we were winning state titles? Yeah, let's just do that again. Oh, okay, sure. Maybe Davion Gause comes in, he establishes himself as the number one running back, and he proves to be a very good player. That's just the way that I see it. If you agree, if you disagree, whatever, let me know in the comment section below. Now, I've said the name CJ Bailey because we know NC State revolves around him to a certain extent. He's a very good player coming off of a very good year. He's got a couple of years of eligibility left. This is a guy who could grow into something special. Last year as a sophomore, he had 3,105 yards, 31 total touchdowns, 9 interceptions. The team went 8-5, but a lot of the losses weren't competitive. And I say that respectfully to the NC State fans that are watching this, but the Duke loss was by 12 points, Notre Dame by 20, Pitt by 19, Miami by 34. For NC State to elevate beyond the best of the rest, if there even was such a thing, because we had a 7-5 Duke team in the ACC championship game. But you know the point that I'm making. You see the perennial heavyweights. Miami, we know, is going to be up there. UVA is coming off of an 11-win season. Whether or not they're going to do that again, we'll wait and see. But Virginia Tech with James Franklin, they're making the push. Florida State has the resources. Clemson is kind of an ever-present sort of danger up there, last year notwithstanding. So you know what the upper tier looks like. And NC State, for a while, I feel like, has been right at the bottom of that upper tier or battling to get into that. And that's where they were last season. Again, 8-5 is a solid record, but all of the losses... Sorry for the interruption. I had to pause the recording. I just sneezed several times, and my face is all red now. And honestly, I don't quite know where I was going. I lost my train of thought a little bit. But I guess the point that I'm making here is NC State clearly has a good team, right? The record tells you that. The production tells you that. You lost Hollywood Smothers. You have the quarterback. You're trying to break in and make that push. You know what? Like a UVA did last year. And NC State has been a better team than UVA has in recent history. But UVA made the push. They had the 11-win season. They got to the conference title game. And that's something NC State is trying to do. And whether or not these transfers are the reason, whether or not they play a part in the reason that does or does not happen, I don't know. But this is my question to NC State fans. As you look around, with the portal still open, with your roster being the way it is, coming off of last season, looking ahead, what do you think of the team? What are your biggest areas that need to be addressed? Are you positive? Are you pessimistic? Are you optimistic? Whatever your thoughts are, jump down in the comment section and let us know. But make sure you guys do like this video if you enjoyed. We appreciate you rocking out here at ACC Uprising. Subscribe if you're new around here, and we'll catch you in the next one.